Happy birthday, Virgo. Um, yeah, it's your birthday. It's your birthday and you'll cry if you want to. Um, I'm also Virgo. I will be celebrating. It's like, do you still celebrate? Like at this age? But yes, at on the 13th of September. Sam is on the 23rd of August. He's right on the cusp. That's why I want to chart. I wanted to make sure I got your reading to you for even the early Virgos. My nephew Sean is September 24th, so he's on the Libra Virgo cusp on the opposite end of the spectrum. But yeah, a lot of Virgo in his house. Sam's also Virgo moon, as many of you know. I'm a Gemini moon, Virgo sun. So this is for Virgo sun, of course, but also Virgo moon, Virgo rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to reading. Pay attention to the thumbnails. Because I can only pick 3 cards out of the deck to try to tell you this, give you a glimpse of what your reading is about, along with the title, which is such, very few words. So I try to, with the words and then the thumbnail, express to you, at least give you a glimpse what this reading is about. Of course, I can't tell the whole story in that little bit of time, but that's why you want to trust your intuition. Like if you're looking at the cards and you're like, well, for some reason you feel like it's for you, trust yourself. It's like your favorite reader's playlist. Like dig into their playlist because it's like a library of information. At least I know mine is. It's about your personal year and your life path numbers and twin flames and soulmates. There's a playlist and why we love each sign. And past lives, one of my favorite readings to do. So yeah, I don't know why I'm telling you that, except that that's a wealth of information that, you think is like for a certain point of time, but really is timeless. At least that's how I feel. Like, when it's your time to see it, you'll see it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. We are going to have I'm not going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking about that. We had the full moon, the harvest moon, one of my favorite songs by Neil Young. If you don't know it, check it out. Put your headphones on, turn it up loud, and then just sway with it. I love that. I love that song. Harvest Moon by Neil Young. Anyway, so we have the harvest moon, September 10th, I believe. And it's interesting if you read like the different cultures, and many cultures, this is the moon. This is the moon. Without going into detail, interesting. Just if you're into it, just read a little bit about what different countries. And by the way, we have people from all over the world here. So many of you look at moons and what have you with different perspectives, and that's why I love doing these readings, because we've got to be able to mesh perspectives, right? Okay, let's stop talking. Let's get into the reading. We're going to have our Mother Mary Oracle, of course, your words of wisdom. I decided to go a little old school with you. I am using, and I apologize, I do not know the name of this deck. I know it starts with an I, but I cannot think of the name of it. And I no longer have the box. It has left as I would have been moving. And then we're going to use a Cosmic Tarot, which I kind of love the Cosmic Tarot. It's a very romantic type deck. And I don't mean just love, but I mean it's just, I don't know, it's got a romantic flair to it. So let's get into your reading. We're going to start with the Mother Mary Oracle. Bring the lid down. Everything's pre-shuffled, but we will give it a shuffle or two. I almost feel like I'm picking up like those coming in late, their energy. I feel like everyone's included. Okay. Well, that didn't take long. We have God. Interesting. This is the second time God has come out within the last batch of readings. I just got done doing the bonus readings for you guys. And now I'm starting, where I wanted to have Virgo's birthday reading in time for your birthday. So anyways, so who did I just finish with? Capricorn. Interesting. So Capricorn also, I think it was, pretty sure it was Capricorn. God. And I just feel like when this comes out, we need to pay attention. So let's read what it says. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control. It's funny because sometimes we feel like, well, I'm not trying to control something, but in a way, we'll let that truck go by. People drive trucks around here. Without naming names, there's someone I can think of right off the bat where, how do I say this? Like they feel they're very open, yet they're not. They're more closed to other people's perspectives. It's easier to stay within our own perspective than to venture out and maybe consider, maybe somebody else is right. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if it's about that, but I'm just feeling that. I got to tell you everything I'm feeling. So anyways, I step out of the way and I surrender. So anything I cannot control, if I cannot control it, then I need to surrender it. It's funny, one of you, it was a word that you actually used in, I think it was Capricorn's reading. The word surrender. You were surrendering. I don't know why I'm trying to shuffle this deck like this. So, let me give him another shuffle. I know I'm moving slow. I'll pick it up. Okay, let's give him a cut. And I am going to shuffle for the cards. I've been taking a lot off the top and allowing this story to reveal itself, but I feel like shuffling. Okay, wow, that didn't take long. Okay. Okay, so Nine of Swords. Not a great card. Here's the good news. It's the first card. And I feel like the first card is either what we need to look at so that we can move beyond it, right? It's usually what is leaving or what's starting to come in. So we better look at this, the Nine of Swords. First of all, it's a 9, so it speaks of reflection. It wants you to reflect upon it. Not in judgment, not to judge yourself. Not even really to judge anybody else. It does stem from pain. It's a card of fear, is what it is. It's that feeling, of doom. It stems from fear. It really stems from the Eight of Swords and then turns into the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords can cause, anxiety or what have you, if it's not dealt with. And that's why 9 says, reflect upon me so that I can go away. The Nine of Swords is about unnecessary worry. God is the very first, is what came out to say, surrender what you cannot control. That's exactly what the Nine of Swords is saying. Very interesting. We have the Three of Cups. Normally the energy of joy. It's like I'm afraid to say that yet. We have the Hangman, that's why. It's like I want to say it's the energy of joy, but like something in me is saying, well, do I know that yet? It's a reason to celebrate. But am I allowing myself, right? Because in the Knight of Swords, I don't think that I am. You know, it's almost like my girlfriend's asking me to go out and I stay at home. And listen, you know, staying at home and having self-reflection is always good. There's nothing wrong with that. If somebody tells you there's something wrong with that, they're wrong. But when it gets to the point where, like, you know, what you got to be careful of in the Nine of Swords is a lot of times, again, it's based out of pain. So the root of the problem is pain, right? But it's pain of the past. But yet it's still affecting, right? It evidently is still affecting you. And maybe your fear is that, you know, I don't know. It's like the Hangman. It's like, I don't know. Like I was going to say, so I put love on hold, but I feel like it's more than that. Like I'm putting my life on hold. Okay? Look at this. Well, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. You know, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new year for you, for us. You know, the sun feels like, first of all, it's mirroring the Nine of Swords. So the sun tells you there are no shadows here. Everything is illuminated. Nothing could hide. Nine of Swords, I think the opposite. I think everything will hide from me. I think everything will be of shadows. But then, boom, here's the sun. And look what comes right before that, the Hangman. Okay. Well, hello, Ace of Cups. That's probably why I felt love. And then look at this, we have the Chariot. Interesting. So, first of all, it's Major Arcana. So anytime you see Major Arcana, you know, like you want to pay attention to it. The Chariot talks about, first of all, it's a card of Cancer, but it talks about a balance within yourself. You know, the Nine of Swords, I'm off balance. There's no other way to say it. I'm off balance, right? I'm in my head here. I'm in my fear factor, creating phobias. Phobias? That type of thing. You know, but I just feel like this Ace of Cups underneath that energy, especially with the dove right there, and to me the dove represents God, represents divine, you know, and that overflowing, you know, and I feel like what it's saying, like it's trying to reach, and that's probably why the Nine of Swords is so close. I could even move it closer to the energy of God. The Chariot. Chariot is all about mind control. It's about the divine. I'm saying divine, but it's about the masculine and the feminine. Maybe could represent a twin for sure. But what I'm really talking about is like within oneself. Within oneself, right? There's the balance of light and dark. Why do I need this balance? Because what I'm learning, because the Hangman, even though the Hangman is kind of putting a block on movement, he is seeking wisdom at the same time. So, you know, I feel like, you know, it's interesting. I feel like God is trying to reach those who maybe you're stuck in your head somewhat. I'm being as nice as I can be, because the sun wants to come out and show you that, illuminate that to you, but also take away the fear factor of it. Take away the fear factor. And I know that's easier said than done. And it may speak about the Three of Cups being the energy of joy. Well, Sandy, how can I have joy if I'm in the Nine of Swords? I don't know, but you can find a way. There's always something that you can find joy in. Listen, if you can't find it, maybe those around you, like, tell people, help me. Like, help me find joy. Help me, get me out of my head. Because I feel like this energy would do that for you. But it's almost like, you want to go out? Nah. Okay, well, let's get the rest of the cards out. We have the Princess of Pentacles. Well, she's coming right under the Hangman. And listen, she is all about learning and knowledge and wisdom and building her castle, her foundation, her world. We have the King of Cups. Can be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Doesn't have to be. Let's see what came with them. Well, hello. Ten of Cups. It almost feels too good to be true sometimes. Maybe I'll take some more cards. Well, look at that. So no matter, first of all, this Ten of Cups is connected to this King of Cups. I can feel it. Now, whether it's and by the way, I just realized this King of Cups is mirroring the Ace of Cups. So what does this tell me? It's like my hand just knocked my deck. What does this tell me? This is telling me, first of all, this is coming from the light, right? He's got the sun above him. So, this is someone, if this is dealing with a relationship or just even a date, even the beginning of it, you know what I mean? Even if I like double date, I don't know. I feel like nonetheless, like, here I am fearing the worst, but I feel like, but you have to allow it at the same time. Like, this Hangman has to lift, right? It's almost like lifting the gate, and then the sun will flood in, right? The gate is closed. Boom. Anyway, but this King is attached to not only the Ace of Cups, because he's mirroring that, but also the Ten of Cups. Quite interesting. Like the sun is saying, you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. But, I mean, if I just look at your deck, it's quite beautiful. Or, I mean, the spread, it's just beautiful. Nine of Swords is the only thing that is like the downer. That's it. Even the Hangman, it's okay to take a moment out, right? The Hangman is seeking wisdom, right? The Hangman is learning. I'm learning. No matter how old I am, I don't think that ever goes away. Okay. We'll come back and look at that a little deeper, even though I feel like you probably already know. Okay. Well, we have the Tower. And we have the Ten of Wands. Interesting. Alright, let's get the last card out, because that is And we have the moon on the bottom of the deck. So, we opened the reading talking about the harvest moon. The moon is a card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like almost like this is answering a question for you. Like, Sandy, how can you promise me? First of all, I can't promise you. That's why I always say I don't make predictions. I'm giving potentials. This is we can reach great potentials, but it does take our energy. You know what I mean? And I think once you start to get on a roll, you start to get on a roll. But getting into it, I don't know. Anyway, I feel like what this is saying, I feel like this is 9 of Swords. It's interesting because this King and this Ace, again, are coming in the light. I know that. Like, I really have no doubt. But does that promise me that this will be my forevermore? Because I don't want, my fear is to go through, let's say, another relationship and then it crumble apart. And I feel like what you're being told, or what we're being told, is what will happen will be determined by the two people and what they're willing to focus on. If they're willing to put their focus on each other, the potential is unlimited. However, I feel like this Tower and this 10 of Swords, I feel like it's here connected to that 9 of Swords, saying that this is like, the other perspective, like coming from the 9 of Swords perspective. Well, I feel like it'll probably just, all the weight will be on my shoulder and it'll eventually just go to the Towers. So why do it? I'm too fearful. No. Do you know what I mean? And that's a perspective. It is a perspective. So let's say that's how I go into it. Let's say that this Ace is coming no matter what. I mean, I feel like when God comes out on the table, we better listen. Because I feel like, let's say the Ace is coming in no matter what. What we then do with it will depend on where we're at. I also feel like, if, and I know this isn't everyone, but, but Virgo is good for it. I know I can do it, where you tend to take on the world's problems, right? You put them on your shoulders, or you tend to put on, you feel like you're taking on the responsibility of a relationship or something like that. Well, then you need to have that awareness, right? You need to have the awareness, because the Princess of Pentacles in between the Hangman and the 10 of Wands, to me, is saying learn from that, right? Learn from that and use that now as your wisdom. So the more wisdom you have, the less fear you have. The 8, a new beginning. This 8 of Pentacles is mirrored by the 10 of Cups. So again, it's like, can I have the 10 of Cups? Yeah. But I got to be willing to focus on that, right? I can't be focusing on all the doom of the past. It's not going to serve me. Okay, let's stop talking. I had a lot of comments telling me that I talk too much. Or I just, I go over the same thing. And it's like, I can't disagree. Because I could make him shorter. I could not talk so much. And sometimes I do make short ones. But I try not to put an expectation on the time, because, I thought to myself, Let's start with 8 cards, but then I could tell that we're meant to take these other cards, so why would I deny you that? You know what I mean? I would have to throw the ball back in your court and say, do you need to learn patience? And I mean that in the most loving of ways. Look at this, the sun. The sun has now, it is right over that 9 of swords. Right over it. Complete illumination. If you're willing to reflect upon that, you're going to have healing over that. Can speak of August. Leo. We have the Prince of Swords. Okay. It's the only thing I don't like. I don't like not having room. Even though I have this big table. Prince of Swords coming over the 3 of Cups. The Prince is the page. We have the Tower coming over the Hangman. And then look at this with the Hierophant coming over the Sun. This is your faith. This is your belief. Even the most difficult things. And I'm just hesitating because I know I've been through them. Like, I feel like probably the most difficult thing you could ever go through. But I feel that life has to go on. Like, I don't know. It's our faith. It's our trust. It's interesting because the Hierophant is, he's like, what does he have? I don't even know what to call it, but his beam of light is illuminating the Tower. So it's almost like, it's like your faith just has to overcome that Tower. But it doesn't mean you can't take a break. Excuse me, take a moment out, heal. But when you get to the point where that you start moving into your head, just don't allow yourself. Like, refocus yourself. It's funny because when I was just shuffling all the cards, I was thinking to myself, I don't know why, I was thinking like the past is a great predictor of the present, just as is the present a great predictor of your future. And I was just like thinking about that, and I thought, yeah, because you're manifesting your future from this present moment. It doesn't matter if you're in the 9 of Swords or you're in the Sun where you're feeling like a kid again, right? Where you're allowing your inner child to shine. It doesn't matter. You're still manifesting. And I think a lot of times, like a 9 of Swords can be the energy of like, I just feel like it'll be doom. And therefore it is. But how could it not be? You know what I mean? But then here's the opposite with the Sun. Like, I just feel like maybe it could be all that I ever thought it could be. Well, yeah. Especially in the Sun's energy, right? Because the Sun, again, there are no shadows. And the Ace of Cups is like what's feeding this energy. And then the 10 of Cups. What can I say? Syrian love songs. Look at that. You have the world coming over the Ace of Cups. First of all, this has nothing to do with your past. The world is a new chapter. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, and I feel like no one can walk into this portal, into this timeline, into this chapter, unless their spirituality is alive. Again, doesn't mean I know all there is to know. I may know a very little bit, but I'm seeking. I'm looking. I'm finding the answers. I'm trusting. I'm seeing the signs and I'm following them. And all of a sudden, boom, my life is different. What the hell am I holding? The world. You know, it's interesting too because you hear me say it all the time, like the world to me is the closest chapter to God. And here it is. Here it is. Look at that. We don't think divine has a part in our world. I mean, it's just showing, first of all, it's showing the unconditional love, I feel like, of God. I feel like if I've gotten stuck, look at that. If I've gotten stuck, it's like, how do we say it? It's like the Most High being that involved in your life. We have the Six of Cups coming over the Chariot. Some of you, it just feels like communication, some type of communication. Six of Cups can talk about someone of the past, even though it is following the world. So, you know, I was going to say, I don't think it can be anyone who caused that Nine of Swords energy. By the way, 9 is independent of ourselves. So, you know, the 5 is where the toxicity lie. And then the 6 and 7 and the 8 and 9. You know what I mean? And then we just keep, if we stay, it goes to the 10 and it, you know, so forth and so on. But I don't feel that. You know, I'm feeling there's also a connection to a past life. Like all of a sudden, I'm feeling that quite strongly. We have the 10 of Pentacles under that tower. And then we have the King of Swords in reverse. I have to tell you, this King has not been showing up well lately. Now, I'm not going to lay it all on Gemini, Libra, Aquarius' shoulder. I think it's just the energy more than anything. You know, this is someone who probably did not tell the truth. This is someone whose communication probably sucked. You know what I mean? But it is not this king who came in the upright. It's interesting because the 10 of Pentacles is also in reverse with this king. And with that energy is the tower. So I feel like here's now I know where your worry lies. I feel like this tower has already happened. Well, I already knew that. And in that, you know, it affected your pentacles, no doubt, right? It affected your foundation, your security, all that. But nonetheless, I want you to notice the energy of the person. You know, sometimes we think we're meant to change someone, but we can't. And we're not meant to. And if they're holding us back, they're holding us back. And I'm only saying that because I feel the energy of this King of Cups so strongly. Like, you know, this is someone who, you want me to put the work in, baby, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like, my focus is on you. This King in reverse is like, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's my baby mama. I don't know. I don't know why I said it like that. And then we have the Hangman. Now it's over your 10 of Cups. It's over your 10 of Cups. Think about that. This 10 of Cups belongs to you. The Hangman's over it. Is it this King? Maybe the person, like, you know, maybe they sucked with their finances. I don't know. Maybe you thought you needed to give all you could give, and I feel like you probably did. But you also got to know when to go. We have the 9 of Swords. Now it's directly over the tower. Directly over the tower. Your fear is that tower. That tower is what needs examination. You need to have faith and trust while you're examining it. The Hierophant, again, is illuminating the Hangman with the tower, right? He's really looking at that tower, but he's looking at it from his faith, from his spirituality, from God's point of view, right? And then the Sun mirroring all that. You know, it's almost like I can say that someone has been robbing me of my life, but really, truth be told, I feel like in a way I've been robbing myself. This may have been a tough character to deal with. But I feel like you deserve so much better. And here it is. It's presenting itself. Okay, let's keep going. Wow. You know, I'm doing an evening reading, and I feel like the evening readings always go deep like this. We have the 5 of Pentacles, and I saw it reverse itself. I feel like that's you realizing you had enough. It's interesting because I don't want to lose fact of where here I feel like there's potentially someone of the past contacting me. Some type of communication, right? Amidst all of this. I want to tell you right now, though, can you drag that 9 of Swords energy into this energy? Yes. And will it cause another 9 of Swords? Yes. You'll live in it, right? You don't want to live in it, right? It's almost like it's a house that I live in. Like I got to keep, you know, like all these swords are in my ceiling and I got to keep, you know, dodging them. That's an illusion. 2 of Swords. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? All right. I want to come back. We have the Seven of Cups. Interesting, because I wanted to look a little bit more at that Six of Cups, where I feel like it's some type of communication. Again, it's coming after the fact. Seven of Cups is uncertainty. Listen, it's okay to be uncertain, right? Like you don't have to be certain every single time. Of course, you're not going to be certain Of course, we're not going to be certain. So if we're not going to be certain, then we want to make sure our energy is right, Because we want to depend on that, right? If a red flag comes near me, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to know it. And that I can trust in, right? Your own energy, you can trust in your own energy as your power. But it makes sense that the uncertainty would also be part of it. Take it step by step. The Ace of Cups to the Ten of Cups. I don't think you go from the Ace directly to the 10. It's probably about the journey of getting there. But remember that Hangman is over it. It's almost like the world, it's almost like the world energy wants to open. This portal wants to open, or the portal's going to open. Like it's going to open. And that's why you need to know that. Because, all of a sudden I'm thinking like Noah's Ark. Like, you don't want to pull the Nine of Swords on the Ark. Because then everyone will be living in that energy. Okay, I want to look at the other side of that. The Empress. Loving, nurturing, creative, caring, strong, wise, motherly, right? Mothering, motherly is the word I'm looking for. The Empress to me, it's like, I feel like I'm telling someone like, listen, I'm no longer your fool. I'm no longer your fool. And I feel like this is what happens after the fact, but you gotta allow it, you gotta trust it. And you got to know that your participation is, 9/10 of the law here. The Empress is about creating, right? Creating even out of the Tower's energy. Interesting. She may have lost half those pentacles, but I have no doubt that she will have more than she needs. Funny, because the Prince, I feel like, younger, and the Empress feels current. Okay. Keep going. Wow. We have the Five of Cups. Okay. First of all, I know the Empress isn't in the energy of all I have lost. I know that. I know she's already overcome that, right? It's been part of the challenge, part of it. But in that five, what the Empress does know, whether it's there, whether it's coming, she has a faith. She trusts in her faith that the two cups that are in the Five of Cups that this woman has yet to find will find her. And then here's this king, right? Wow. What's coming between the queen, the king, and the Empress? The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And, oh, the Page. Or the Princess. So we have the Prince and a Princess. I'm going to look at the Hangman down here. cards flipped himself around in the deck. Holy shit. With the Ace of Cups. Again. And look at this. The Chariot. You have the Ace of Cups here and the Chariot right next to it. Ace of Cups here and the Chariot right next to it. I wanted to look at the Hangman that's coming over this Ten of Cups, but it's between, it's almost like here's the portal within the world. My uncertainty, will I not, right? The portal feels like it's going to open no matter what. My focus is everything, I want to say. Listen, the Hangman is seeking wisdom, but part of that wisdom is I got to know when to go. Look at this. I mean, come on. It's like love, and then it takes off. It takes off. It takes off. There, my friend, I think I'm going to leave it. Wow. Let's read God. Our thoughts, our intentions, are everything now, right now, and moving forward. I don't know. I felt like I had to say that. All right, God. You prayed for help, and now it's time to allow heaven to assist you. God's love and wisdom have always been available to you, provided that you're willing to trust divine will. Release any unhealed components of your relationships with your Creator to Mother Mary and the angels in favor of developing a closer and more trusting one. This may require tremendous faith on your part, especially if you can't see a solution to your present situation on the horizon. This card indicates that you've been approaching this situation single-handedly, trying to anticipate and control the outcome by yourself. Anxiety, Nine of Swords, comes from distrust in divine order and timing, along with disappointment when other people don't follow your plans. Surrendering your need to be the scriptwriter helps you relax and actually get better results. God has room to heal you and the situation when you allow God to be in charge. Amen. Happy birthday, Virgo. I love you guys. I don't know. It felt special. It felt really, really special. And I feel like there's a call to, no wonder I did this reading earlier than I planned on doing in September. But something made me do it, and in the evening. It's thundering out all of a sudden. There's a storm on its way. Huh. I love you guys. Please, Ace of Cups and a Chariot, whatever it may mean to you, it's about taking something, someone, and putting no limits on it, right? Like, literally, I mean, I want to say to the moon and back. To the moon and back. I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.